Welcome back to applelnsider. Today we're diving into something that bridges nostalgia with modern connectivity. We're taking a fresh look at the Nokia 1100 4G, a phone that revives the soul of the classic 1100 but adds just enough modern flair to feel relevant in 2025. This is not your next flagship killer. It's not about ultra-wide cameras or OLED panels. It's about reliability, simplicity, and pure function. The Nokia 1100 4G is aimed at people who want a digital detox or a dependable backup device, and it delivers just that with charm and confidence. First up is design and build quality. The Nokia 1100 4G doesn't chase trends, it brings back an era where phones were built to last. The body is crafted from high-durability polycarbonate, a material that's rugged, grippy, and capable of surviving the kind of drops that would end most modern glass phones. It has a slightly updated silhouette compared to the original 1100, with cleaner lines and smoother edges that make it comfortable to hold for hours. The phone fits snugly in one hand and slips easily into any pocket, weighing around 85 grams. Tactile buttons, especially the large T9 keypad, are a joy to use for texting or dialing. The textured back panel gives it that classic Nokia feel, tough, functional, and unapologetically old school. The build here isn't flashy, but it's confident and honest. In a world full of fragile phones, the Nokia 1100 4G feels like a breath of fresh air. Moving to the display, this phone comes with a 1.8-inch TFT screen that does the job without any frills. It's not high resolution, it's not colorful like an AMOLED, but it's perfectly legible in sunlight and gets surprisingly bright for outdoor use. The display is designed for visibility and battery efficiency, and that's where it shines. The pixel density is enough for reading text messages, navigating simple menus, and even catching a glimpse of images or icons. Nokia has added a slight update to the UI visuals, giving it a cleaner and more modern appearance while staying true to the simplicity of feature phones. The curved plastic screen adds durability, and there's no worry about cracks or scratches here. You won't be watching Netflix on it, but for its purpose, basic communication and information, it nails the job. Under the hood, performance on the Nokia 1100 4G is modest but reliable. It's powered by a Unisoc T107 chipset, a processor built specifically for feature phones. You get 48 MB of RAM and 128 MB of internal storage, expandable via microSD up to 32 GB. Now that might sound tiny by today's smartphone standards, but for the kind of tasks this phone handles, calls, texts, FM radio, MP3 playback, light internet browsing, it's more than enough. Everything moves smoothly within the user interface. There's no lag when scrolling through contacts or menus, and boot times are lightning fast. This phone doesn't try to do too much, which is why it excels in its own lane. The 4G connectivity ensures clear calls and quick access to essential services like WhatsApp or even a stripped-down web browser. For someone looking for utility over bells and whistles, the performance is consistent, stable, and predictable, in a good way. When it comes to the camera, you get a single VGA shooter on the back. And let's be real, it's not meant for photography enthusiasts. This is a utility camera for snapping quick pictures of a bus schedule, a document, or maybe a nostalgic low-res selfie. The camera app is simple, with a basic interface that opens quickly and captures instantly. There's no autofocus, no portrait mode, and definitely no night mode. But for quick snaps that are easy to share over Bluetooth or WhatsApp, it works. It also supports video recording, but again, it's more of a functional tool than a creative one. For a phone in this category, the camera exists purely for convenience, and in that context, it does its job without trying to be anything more. Battery life is where the Nokia 1100 4G absolutely dominates. With a 1450 mAh removable battery, this phone can last up to a week on a single charge depending on your usage. Even with 4G connectivity, it sips power thanks to the low-power chipset and simple display. If you're just using it for calls, texts, and the occasional music session on the built-in MP3 player or FM radio, you're looking at multiple days of usage without ever reaching for the charger. Charging is done via a micro USB port. Not the fastest, but it's acceptable given how infrequently you'll need to charge it. The removable nature of the battery is a big plus too, especially for people who like to carry a spare when traveling. In short, if you're tired of charging your phone every night, the Nokia 1100 4G offers a satisfying return to multi-day battery life. On the software side, the phone runs on Nokia's Smart Feature OS. It's not Android, but it supports basic apps like WhatsApp, Snake Game, voice recorder, calendar, alarm, and a basic browser. It even includes 4G Volt support, so your calls are crystal clear. The UI is icon-based, very reminiscent of old Nokia feature phones, but updated just enough to not feel clunky. Navigating through menus is snappy, and setting up the phone is easy even for someone not tech-savvy. There's Bluetooth for wireless file sharing and headset connectivity, and you can store music on the memory card and play it directly through the phone's loud, clear speaker. There's also support for wireless FM radio, which means you don't need to plug in headphones as an antenna. These are small but meaningful conveniences that make the phone more useful in daily life. The software is lightweight, stable, and refreshingly free of ads or bloatware. Finally, we come to value for money, and this is where the Nokia 1100 4G really shines. Priced under $40 in most markets, it's an absolute bargain for what it offers. You get 4G connectivity, legendary Nokia durability, week-long battery life, and essential modern features in a phone that's built for people who prioritize simplicity. Whether you're a parent buying a first phone for your child, a professional looking for a secondary backup device, or someone who just wants to escape smartphone overload, this phone is an ideal choice. It's built to serve, not to impress. And in doing so, it becomes surprisingly impressive. You're not buying specs with this phone, you're buying peace of mind. So here's the conclusion. The Nokia 1100 4G is more than a throwback. It's a thoughtful modern reimagining of one of the most iconic phones in history. It brings back everything we loved about classic mobile devices: ruggedness, reliability, simplicity, and adds just enough modern technology to make it fit into today's world. It's not for everyone, and it's not trying to be. But for the audience it's built for, it's an absolute home run. If you're tired of broken screens, constant notifications, and daily charging anxiety, the Nokia 1100 4G is like stepping into a calm, quiet corner of the tech world where everything just works. And sometimes, that's exactly what we need. Thanks for watching applelnsider. If you found this review helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a break from smartphones. We'll see you in the next one.